Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for February 2nd through 6th, 2026. Wow. I think that's all I have to say for the week is wow.
Well, it's funny because if we would have done this before watching Fridays, if it would have only been Monday through Thursday, I was going to be like, this week was kind of boring. Like, I was totally not into it. And then Friday, wow. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I think that's kind of, I mean, we will obviously talk about it. That is the point of this show.
Right.
So we have a few Port Charles pipelines. The first one I have is I have been watching a show on Netflix. It's from 2023. It's called Love and Death. And it's the one that I texted you about earlier that I was like, I was looking for something to just have on while I'm doing, some computer work or whatever. And I'm reading the description and I'm like, And then at the end it says, based on a true story. I'm like, there we go. Like, what's wrong with me that I'm reading? Like, what's the...
If this is a murder story just based off someone's idea, it's not worth watching. But if it's a true life story, heck yeah, I'm clicking on it.
Right. It says, in 1980s Texas, a small town wife yearning for more life lands in the spotlight when her love affair ends in murder. So you're kind of like, okay, based on a true story. Yep. Because I don't know which one they're talking about. And that was the thing. JD came in on episode 5. It's a 7-parter, and I've watched all but the last 20 minutes now. It's been a heavy admin day. But I was like, I don't know this. He's like, how is there one that you don't know? I'm like, I don't know every single one. But I'm actually really surprised because I watched Snapped. I watched 2020. I watched Dateline.
Yeah.
You think that you would hear about this. I don't know. But whatever. But it's pretty good. I mean, it's a good docuseries, or it's a good episodic drama.
Okay.
However, in episode 5, I think it is, the one woman is played by Elizabeth Olsen, and she has a flashback to when she was 4, and she was being taken to the hospital, and there's this little girl on the gurney screaming and crying with blood on her face, and it's our Jo Fiel.
Aww.
It was so sweet to see her that little again.
Even if she was covered in blood, you're like, it's so sweet.
It was just, she was such a good little actress even then.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all that I had for my own personal things that I found people in. Did you have anything?
It was just more like, I feel like the past week or two, I told you I was binging The Fosters. So then I went into Good Trouble, and it's like a GH reunion before they were on GH, and it makes me so happy. And now I'm finally to the episodes that our Morgan is on, Brian Craig. And so did you know he sings, or at least he sings in some of these episodes? If we ever get to interview him, I want to ask him.
No.
He's going to be like, where are you pulling this stuff from? And I'm going to be like, when you were on Good Trouble, was that you actually singing, or did they use someone else's voice? Because it's a birthday party that they're having for one of the residents, and it's a karaoke party, so they're all doing a different song, and he gets up there and sings Achy Breaky Heart. So Now I need to know if it was really him singing or not. And I'm sure I could Google that, but I don't want to Google it. I want to ask him. So
Aww.
But yeah,
I did not know that.
Because I texted you the other week. Johnny Zakara was on it.
Yep.
And Brennan was on it. And was there somebody else? I feel like there was a third, but maybe not. Maybe it was just Morgan being on there. But anyway, yeah, it was like, oh, I love all our GH characters. Oh, Felix. It was Felix that was on it.
Okay, I'm like, we actually text a lot this week. You did. Oh no, you did. You responded to my fix your ex.
Yes.
Guys, okay, this is totally off subject, but there is a local animal shelter, I think it is.
Yes.
That, do you have an ex, an aunt, a former situationship, or an enemy you wish couldn't reproduce? Donate $30 and we will name a feral cat after them.
That's awesome. And that's not the only organization that's doing it, because I saw one of my friends from Ohio posted the same thing for one of their local animal rescues. So that's a great way to get all of these animals so that they're not making babies that nobody can have and
Yep.
get some
Getting out a little
revenge.
bit of rage.
Right.
And then there was a woman in Ohio who was arrested for breaking into homes and cleaning them.
I don't know why she couldn't be here. Like,
So
if
yeah, we
anyone,
definitely texted a lot this week of
yes,
really random stuff.
exactly. If anyone would like to break into my house and clean it, you don't have to break in. I'll leave a key under the mat. Like, please,
We live
come on. Right. Message me for address.
Yes. So we just had a couple emails. The first one is from Aisha. Hi, Shannon and Amanda. Let me run this by you. I think that the show left Jason's top on and his and Britt's hookup to the audience's imagination in order to avoid the whole tattoo discussion. You know, what happened to you and why, which he went through with both Michael and Carly on screen. Don't recall if it came up with Danny or Jake. I don't think it did. I think it was only Carly and Michael.
Right.
Bringing up the tattoos means bringing up the time period that Jason chose to let everyone believe he was dead, which inevitably means bringing Carly up and a particularly sore subject for Britt.
Oh, okay.
I like that explanation.
I do too. I just kind of thought that she had to have seen him in a short sleeve shirt by now, and then you see it. But I haven't not
Maybe
paid
it's a
attention.
little cold. Maybe he, like, some people keep socks on. Maybe he's decided to start keeping his shirt on.
Maybe.
And as Holly let us know last week, it is football season and he is not necessarily on his diet and as regimented as usual. But she does go on. I am still not sold on Jason and Britt and feel ho-hum about this latest development. Maybe there was too much anticipation to live up to.
Yes.
Yeah. Or the writers were too invested to adjust their course, or this Britt is just too far removed from the Britt who went on the run with Jason years ago, but their underlying mutual attraction hasn't been coming through for me. Without the prospect of a horrible death looming ahead, perhaps the humanity and maturity that she seems to have shown back then is harder to detect. I will agree. It's not as bad as what they did with Sam.
Right.
But maybe once this whole storyline gets cleared up and she is allowed to be herself, because right now she's extra stressed and she finally just told him exactly why.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't realize the little stressors that you have going on in your life until they're gone.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, wait a second. I didn't realize she knows that this is affecting her, obviously.
Right. I mean, she's constantly living in fear that they're going to find out that she's still seeing him. So that has to play on her mind. Like, you can't ever fully relax if you're just waiting for that to happen.
Yep. Isn't the show just recycling bits of Carly and Jason's past dialogues to heighten his interactions with Britt without the history to justify the commitment? Question, how did you find me? Answer, I will always come find you. Is lifted straight from, among countless other examples, when Jason tracked a pregnant Carly down to the embankment where Ryan had thrown her. Let me point out that this wasn't a mess that Carly made or perpetuated. She had been taking reckless risks, and she actually started climbing up instead of just waiting around to get rescued, and hadn't been sitting on crucial information that could get other people hurt. It's one thing for Jason to patiently wait until a relative or friend, often Carly, are ready to come clean about a secret that they've been keeping, but to cut Britt so much slack for not being forthcoming and to respect her privacy instead of snooping around to find out what he needed to know is mystifying. Didn't Britt owe him a heads up when Pascal came to town? A couple of threats against Rocco wasn't motivation enough for her. She had to nearly freeze and get defrosted by Jason in order to do the right thing. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not impressed. Britt had no problem confiding to Brad, so I'm not buying that she held out on Jason to protect him. Finally, on the feasibility of reverse engineering Britt's medication, why is neither of them reaching out to
Obrecht?
Yep. She knows her way around a lab, and more significantly, she used to be the hand in glove with Faison, possibly even knows which specific lab developed the drug. And there's also, I will add to that, also probably a good chance that she worked with him on this.
Right, because it was started for him, not for Britt. Yeah.
Like at the beginning stages of it, I bet that whether or not she was aware of that's what they were working on could be another thing. Thanks for putting up with my ramblings, Aisha M. Oh, thanks. I like that. At least we're not the only ones. Like, Jason and Carly having the same convo every day.
Right, right. And she's absolutely right with if anything was going to convince Britt to be honest, it should have been all the stuff with Rocco.
Yeah.
The threat there. Yeah.
So Holly wrote in a theory on Britt. This is not an original, and I may have originally heard you two speculating on this. I don't think either of us said this,
Okay.
but I am becoming more convinced that Britt doesn't have Huntington's.
I saw that circulating on the internet this week, but I know I did not think
Neither
that.
of us have said that. No,
Right.
I don't think she ever got a second confirming test. She would be very easily manipulated into thinking anything if a promised miracle cure. Symptoms could be withdrawal from any common drug, keeping her thinking she needs it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe
That
she
is
should ask
true.
Willow. She knows a lot about medication suddenly.
I said it a couple weeks ago. I am so excited for the actress. I
Right.
truly am. And honestly, excited for Finola Hughes too,
Yes.
because they're getting to do something so
Right.
opposite but I mean, Willow, holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that in a few minutes, but that's it for the Port Charles pipeline. All right, guys, we're finally doing it. This upcoming week, we are kicking off the Phase On series.
As
JD
nothing
is going
says
to read it to
love like phase on.
JD is going to read it to us. It is going to be broken up, though. We're breaking it up into the sections that he was on. So, like, it's going to be 1990 to 1992. And then when he came back in 99 and 2000. So they're going to probably be like shorter episodes. In part, I kind of like just clustering it like that because also one thing could be referenced and you're like, okay, I'll go to that specific year's episode instead of having to listen to a whole year and a half. We'll cut it
Right.
down to little chunks for you. And also it gives us more episodes to do and it helps cover my vacation.
True. And we're going to be like laughing about different things and asking questions. It's really not going to be that much shorter. So,
Well, we will see. But so it's starting this week. And we do have a fan spotlight squeezing in there too. So that'll be good.
yeah.
All right. Hulu headlines. On Monday, Britt makes an upsetting discovery. Lucas is thrown. I really liked Lucas this week. Alexis is dismayed. Willow plays dirty. Emma gets an important call. On Tuesday, Jason is torn. Michael is interrogated. Willow confides in Nina. Britt is desperate. Diane voices her suspicions. On Wednesday, Jason and Sunny strategize. Nathan opens up to Nina. Willow makes her move. Lulu confides in Laura, and Jocelyn digs for information. She's doing a really good job right now, though.
Yes.
I will give her that. She is doing a really good job right now. On Thursday, Curtis seeks help from Alexis. Kai explains to himself. This is actually how they should have been using her the whole time
Mm-hmm.
to start her. This is exactly how they should have been using her to start. Sorry. On Thursday, Curtis seeks help from Alexis. Kai explains himself to Trina. Drew is stunned. Chase loses his cool. Michael briefs Carly and Sunny. And then on Friday, Michael confides in Brooklyn. Britt pushes back. Elizabeth diffuses a tense situation. Christina and Jacinda catch up. And Dante is insistent.
Yep.
Where are we starting?
Well, you said you love Lucas. Go with that. I feel like that's
I like how he's paying attention to his spidey sense.
yeah.
Lucas they originally had talked about moving in together. And then Marco was like, well, why don't we live with my dad first? Try to see if this works. And, they keep talking about how great everything is. So the courts were open and Marco's like, oh, I'm surprised the courts were open. And Lucas is like, winter in upstate New York can be tough. Yes, it can. However, do they take care of the roads?
Right.
If they take care of the roads, you're fine. I don't know how we run out of salt all the time.
I don't either.
Lucas, so he tells Marco that Pascal creeps him out, to which Marco kind of just like totally dismisses it. Oh, that Pascal totally, like he was out of town. That was him taking Anna to France.
Right.
He's like dropping her off. So, Lucas is saying like, no, I used to live at Wyndemere. I was in the wine cellar. Pascal's like hovering over me, and I just kind of want to go check out the catacombs, like relive my youth. And Marco snapped at him.
Yep.
But then he saw Britt walking in and he clocked her walk of shame.
Yes, he did.
And then later on at the hospital, who was he listening? He was eavesdropping over someone. I don't know. There was just like little things that I liked that it was, I don't know. Oh, because then he was also talking with Liz about what were he? Willow.
Yeah, Willow taking Drew home instead of to our facility.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just like those little things that you see throughout the week that just kind of add. I don't know.
Yeah.
There wasn't really anything one specific. I just thought that he was on point this week, I guess. I don't know.
Got it? No,
Not
he
as
was
exciting as
good.
you were probably anticipating.
No,
You didn't miss anything. It just stood out to me.
I was just wondering, you know, who stood out to me. I'm like jumping way ahead, but it's like condensed in its own little thing. Was Ezra at the fitness center or whatever. So I was watching. Ryan has not watched in like weeks and weeks, and he like stopped
You better
dead
get
in
caught
his
up.
tracks and was right, and he was like, "Who is that creepy guy?" And I was like, "Oh, that's Ezra." Right as Ezra says that he would like to take Jacinda to dinner, blah blah blah, and Jacinda's like, "Look, I can't talk right now," and Christina butts in and is like, "Hey, we're trying to get to class." So Ezra right then is like, "Well, your friend is more than welcome to join us," and Ryan's like, my God, he is so disgusting. And I was like, yep, that's Ezra. And he was like, who is this guy? Like, explain him. And I was like, so he wants to be mayor, and Jacinda used to be a sex worker, but now she's not because she's dating Michael, but she's afraid she's gonna have to go back to that. So she's not sure what to do. And then, you know, we continued to watch as Jacinda, I was very disappointed. I yelled at my TV and told her to stop it. But whenever she gave him her phone number and said she may have openings in the next few weeks because she's doubting the relationship from the information that Christina gave her about the custody stuff that we can get to in a second. But as they're standing there talking, Jacinda comes back over and Christina's like, did I just see you give Ezra your phone number? Like, what are you doing? And I liked that Jacinda started to lie, and then she was like, I don't know why I'm lying to you. Like, let me tell you the truth. So this is my concern, whatever. But the whole time in the background, Ezra is taking selfies as he's stretching. And I'm like, ew, stop. You're just so gross.
You know that he's putting that on his social so he can blend in with the hip young youth.
Oh, he wants to keep it real with his constituents. Like, oh my God. He played it perfectly, but it was just so gross. I couldn't help but, ugh, stop.
You know, I thought you were going to say that he walked in and was like, "Hey, isn't that the lawyer Matt from 90210?" Because it's getting really difficult for me to think of him that way now. Because Matt, for me, from what I remember, was such a sweetheart.
Oh, right, right.
You know, like Kelly screwed him over big time.
Yes, yes. But
So,
yeah, nope, he played it way too well. I was so grossed out, and even Ryan took notice and was like, what in the heck? So I guess that can take us back to Willow at the beginning of the week. We see her going to Alexis's law office so that she can meet with Michael to
Yeah.
discuss their custody stuff. And she just happens to take with her a key to her house because she's all irate that Tracy had broken in, but not broken in, to get her belongings whenever it was the snowstorm and stuff. And I could not believe that even after they negotiated everything, that she still took his keys and put the key on his keychain to set him up as breaking into the house for Drew to shoot him. Like, she obviously knows that she's the one that did it. Why are you trying to set up
Right.
Michael when he's working with you? Like, I really
Because she
don't
wants
think.
full custody. She doesn't want him to have anything, which I also don't understand based on all the other things that she said when we get to it. Because it's like she realizes so much of the stuff that she was angry at Michael about wasn't true.
Right, right. And that the kids need both parents. Like, that's what Alexis and Rick kept reiterating over and over and over again. Remember, when we go to court, guys, they're not going to care about why Willow's mad or why Michael's mad. They only care about what's best for the kids. So you guys need to get on the same page. So if you know that, and you know that half the stuff you were mad about was because Drew was manipulating the situation, and that he really did mess with Wiley and all that stuff, then why would you be fighting it so hard? I understand fighting it. Like, okay, I'm, selfish. I would love full custody all the time of my kids too. Like, they're mine. I get it. But to send him to prison for something that he didn't do, come on.
Right.
You're pushing it.
And he's a good dad.
Right. Exactly.
But she basically blackmailed Alexis and Alexis even told Suzanne, she played Scout and she played Sam
Right.
against her. And then before that, before Rick and Alexis sat down with them, Rick went over to Sunny because Sunny, I guess they were possibly going to get lunch. Like, now they're buddy buddy.
Right. That's
Like,
weird.
Sunny knows that they're are limitations to things that can be done. And he knows that Rick having represented Willow is a conflict of interest. So for him to get so angry at Rick, I felt like that was just so weird. It's like, no, of all the people that probably actually understand that the most, it would be
Right.
Sunny.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess their loophole around it was having the four of them sitting in the room, not realizing that Rick and Michael had discussed, quote unquote, let's figure out the compromise here.
Right.
Ooh, but then Jacinda and Michael were so cute at Bobby's.
They
and
were.
Christina came in and was like, I don't understand why you don't just quit Crimson. You hate Nina. Nina hates you. And she's like, well, I want to see where this job can take me and everything. And then Willow walks in and comes over to Christina and
Oh,
thanks
yeah, that was great.
Jacinda for getting custody, helping her get custody of her kids. And ooh, Christina, oh, sweetie her.
That was beautiful.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Yep. Yep. She's like, sorry, I'm not sure that you really won any points by marrying the psycho that was the whole reason they had you not be around your kids to begin with. So what are you talking about?
Yep.
Oh, that was good. I will give her that. I'm trying to think where we went from there. We're jumping around, which is my fault. I know, because I couldn't help
Well,
but
so
give it
Michael
a whirl.
the compromise wound up ending in 60% Michael's favor,
Right.
60-40. And then Michael told Sunny and Carly, and Carly's flipping out.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael was like, well, it was either reach a compromise with her or flee the country. So which do you want? Because
Right. And how did Carly forget that he said that? Because she was like, he wouldn't really. He was like, I was dead set on that. Like before Christmas, the jet was fueled. Like, I'm ready to go. What are you talking about? Of course,
Right.
that's what I would do. So yeah, they're talking about it. And then in walks Chase, giving him like this nasty face. And I was so proud of Brooklyn for finally saying to Chase, they were at the diner then, saying to Chase, like, what are you doing? Because he goes up to get a refill or something, and he hears Molly say that she had just questioned Michael. And he's like, isn't that a conflict of interest? And well, what information did you
you
get?
need to
And
recuse yourself.
right. And she's like, I'm pretty sure if your department wants you to know any of this, they'll let you know. So
I loved it. The Davis girls had it this week.
yes, yes. And so then she went and sat down and was like, thank you for saving me, because that was getting real awkward with dealing with him. And then he sat back down and was like, oh my gosh, can you believe that? And Brooklyn was like, no, I can't believe that. How dare you question her when she was just doing her job? She's not the one prosecuting. She was just asking the questions. And what are you doing throwing yourself in something when you already got in trouble for investigating stuff you weren't supposed to be investigating?
Right.
And he still didn't learn, because that's where we end up with the keys, because he sees Michael's keys on the table, and then that's how he ends up at Drew's house later, is because he's testing the keys to see if they will open up Drew's house. So I was thankful, though, at the end that Wiley sees him like throwing the keys down on the ground to make it look like they had fallen out of Michael's pocket or something like that, because Wiley is a smart little kid, and just like he did with Drew, he's going to turn to them and be like, how come Uncle Chase is playing with your keys and tossing them underneath the bar? Like, what's going on?
Well, and that's going to get Chase fired.
Right.
We can't get there yet.
Okay.
We can't. There are so many other
I
things that we
know.
have to talk about before we get
I know.
there.
I understand.
Oh, but so when they had Nathan go with Molly to the questioning of Michael at Diane's office, we found out that Diane broke her leg skiing and accidentally skied into somebody else.
Oh, I thought that someone skied into her.
Oh, I thought she was saying that she skied into herself, or she skied into someone else.
Oh, I thought she was saying someone. I thought she was blaming it on the other person. It doesn't really matter, but I thought she was saying like someone else thought they knew how to ski and they skied into me.
Oh, see, I thought she was humbling herself and was like, yep, I thought I was all that, and then realized, nope.
Yeah, but they met at the DA's office. They didn't meet at Diane's.
Right.
Because they gave her the room.
Yes. No, I just said, and that's when we learned about Diane.
I thought you said at her office, but I could be wrong.
I don't
know. But yeah.
Oh, but then Molly told Rick about her book. Rick was giving some really good dad advice this week.
He was.
And he was even telling her, listen, I'm keeping my friendship with Liz. We're in a good spot. Not going to try to do it again. And Molly had to push. And so Rick sent her flowers. Noah.
No, I agree. No. But I did think it was funny that Rick said in defense of Cody, if I had to read a book that Elizabeth wrote on me from our first impressions, I wouldn't want to read that book either. So,
Yep.
like, give Cody some grace here. He's upset because he read what you really thought about him. He'll come around.
Yeah. Not cool.
No. But Molly, I don't know. She still has this idea in her head that him and Liz can work out. And Liz, after a little bit of persuading, said yes to dinner. So here we go.
No.
I agree with you, but I don't know that we're going to get to keep them apart.
We need someone new.
I agree. I agree.
If Lucky had never come back, I would probably have a different answer. I probably wouldn't care.
Well, I feel like she shouldn't be over Lucky that much yet. Like,
No.
he was there. He just proposed. You told him no. You were right to tell him no. But if you would have said yes, if all the situation wouldn't have been what it was, then you shouldn't be dating somebody else 6 weeks later.
If he was staying, you would have said yes.
Exactly. So,
But you knew that he wanted you to say yes so that he could stay.
right. So don't be dating someone
Nope.
else 6 weeks later.
To be fair, it's been like 6 months.
Okay. 6 months later. Whatever. It doesn't, you're right, but it doesn't, it feels that long, but it
Oh, it's
doesn't
been
feel that
8
long.
months. It's been 8 months. Because he left while remember, I was watching it on my way home from Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's beginning of June.
All right. Well, you
Still.
still can't move on with
It's
his
still
life.
under a year.
Right. I don't want it to happen, okay? So I'll make up whatever excuse.
Trying to see where we can go without going too far. Oh, we could go back to the very beginning where the only thing that Tracy brought home directly from Drew's was Edward's decanter.
Yes. That was sweet.
And I loved when she said something about how, well, because they were all freaking out because they couldn't find Tracy. And then she walked in and she's like, my phone's dead, whatever. She wasn't in an accident. She tells him that she got stuck with Martin and they resolved an issue. And Chase is like, where's Martin? Like, am I going to have to go find a body?
Right.
But she got Martin to start loading things into the car. And Gio says that Drew deserved to lose everything that he stole. And Chase was like, oh, you sound like true Quartermain. And he said that he was. And Brooklyn was just so happy.
Yes.
That was sweet.
That was sweet. I find it hard to believe that Tracy couldn't find a phone charger at Drew's house, though. It's not like she was really stuck out in the wild. Like,
Right.
Drew doesn't have phone chargers. He has a almost teenage daughter, and there's no phone charger in the house. I don't think so.
Yeah. So apparently everybody has a boat, going back to Jason and Britt, because he had a boat. She has a boat. Like, everyone just has a boat now. And then later on, she's talking about how she has to moonlight at Wyndemere because getting back on your feet costs so much. Maybe just don't buy a boat.
Well, maybe she needs a new boat now because she was talking about the reason she needed Jason to save her last week was because her boat was taking on water. So,
Right.
if
But that's
she
what I'm saying is that,
I
like,
know.
because they had to go, oh, that was cute though, when he's like, yeah, we have to go dock at King's Beach. So we have a new mention of a new thing or new place. And he's like, well, I'm going to go dock there because we can't be docked together. And she's like, well, what am I supposed to do? He's like, I don't take the bus. But so he finally talks her into allowing him to reverse engineer. And she's like, well, I only get, a week's worth at a time or whatever, like a very limited amount at a time. And this is where, is Jason losing his skill when he's like, no, they're just watching you at Wyndemere. They're not actually watching you.
Right.
Really, Jason? You know how this works.
Yeah.
So she goes back to her room and the medicine's missing. And it turns out the Cullum has it. And she's going to get one dose at a time at Wyndemere. But he has her dose for the day. And he's like, I have to give it to you. And then he stabbed her.
That was creepy, and I wondered if it was actually her medication. Like, has he had enough of her? He really does have some scientists that know what they're doing, and he doesn't need her because that was just way too creepy. Or was it just a mind game of you're basically at my mercy, so you have to let me inject you with whatever I want and take the chance that it is what you need because I'm in control here. But either way, it was just so
I think
gross.
it's that.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm a doctor, I can do it. And he's like, no, it's fine. And he like bit the cap all creepy. It was so, ugh. Stop.
Yeah. So I no longer think that Cullum is Phazon because Cesar's a creep, but I don't think he had that kind of, no, that was a little sexual. Like that was a little,
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, but Emma got a phone call. They
Mm-hmm.
found Anna in France. She
Mm-hmm.
escaped and had flagged down a car, mumbling about Cesar being alive. Emma went to the hospital, told Felicia. Then they brought him back, and she's like, "We need to call my grandpa." And Felicia made an excellent point. If Anna wanted Robert to know, she would have called him.
Yep.
And so Mac talked to the French authorities. They're going to transfer Anna to a mental health facility, and he's calling Kevin for recommendations. However, when they get to France, they're not allowed to move her.
Nope.
But we are not having Robert die trying to rescue Anna from Cesar.
No, I
We're
agree.
not. We are not allowing Cesar Faison to have won the same way that we allowed the Cassidines to win over Luke Spencer. We are not doing it.
Right.
No, no.
I agree. But Anna was amazing this week. Like
Anna and Felicia.
I don't love Felicia as much as you do. I used to back in the day, but she's not there yet. Maybe she will be. Maybe this is the storyline that will get her there, but I'm not there yet.
I just thought that was such a true, like, your best friend is there trying to help you, watching you, being delusional while trying to help you, thinking that you're also sane, and just knowing that Emma's out there, just waiting to see her and seeing how broken Anna is,
But I felt like Emma was the better friend than Felicia, even though Felicia has obviously known Anna for 1,000 years, and so she should know better.
They
Because,
look great.
yes, because Emma said, like, if my grandma is saying this stuff, she believes it. Like, something happened that she saw this, she heard this, she something, because she wouldn't just have a break and make this up. Like, there's something going on there. I felt like Felicia walked into it 100% believing what everyone else was saying and was like, oh yeah, she had a mental break. I'm sad that my friends had a mental break. Everything that Anna was saying to her, she just kind of like she had tears in her eyes, like she was upset that her friend had a mental break. But she also was making a face like, oh, I'm so sad because you're rambling on nonsense because you had this mental break. Where, I don't know, if you started telling me some crazy stuff, I would be like, Shan knows a lot about murder and crazy stuff. If she's telling me that there was like, a theory here in her head of what happened, I want to make sure that the theory's wrong before I'm like, oh no, she just had a break. She's crazy.
I appreciate you giving me that much
And
benefit of
I
the
will
doubt.
give you the benefit of the doubt.
Although Felicia did agree at the end with Britt and Nathan are alive, it's Faison could be too.
Right. The only part
It's
that
when
she seemed
to
concerned
think
was
that
Peter.
it was with Liesel. That's when Felicia seemed to switch because she's like, but Liesel's been hanging out with James like almost every day. So when would she have come there? Because also Anna doesn't realize that she was transplanted yet.
Right. They don't know that. So she's
So
thinking Liesel would have had to be gone for a lot longer than a few hours to go and play nurse in Paris as opposed to Spoon Island. But I also just didn't like that she wasn't giving any credit to anything that Anna said until Anna said something about Peter. And then she was like, wait, okay, I need to listen to this intently enough to find out if what you're saying is true because it would affect my daughter. And then once she kind of deemed that it was just a bunch of hallucination or whatever, she was like, yeah, okay, she had a mental break, sorry. So
yeah,
I wanted her to give her the benefit of the doubt a little bit longer because poor Emma was like, no, listen, my grandma's not crazy. Something had to have happened. Like,
yeah.
help figure it out. It wasn't just a random break. There's something going on. So, and then they came in and like sedated her and whisked Emma away. And like Anna was making sense. Faison was talking about you. You need to stay away from me, Emma. You need to go as far away from all this as you can because Faison will absolutely hurt you too as a way to get to me. And she's right. Those people would hurt Emma.
Yep, absolutely.
So
And Joss was doing a good job because she was interviewing Laura about the power grids and everything. So she's doing a really good job, like backtracking to cover up this stuff. And Laura's like, yeah, in fact, the only place that lost power was Spoon Island.
yep.
But okay, I missed it and I didn't rewind. Did Joss intentionally put the book down?
Yes. So she
Okay.
she was putting her computer in her bag So it didn't look like it was intentional, but it was absolutely intentional. So that
Like
then,
just rearranging your bag, like you take stuff out to fit everything
right,
back in.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I just need to move this book so that my computer will sink deep enough and then I'll put the book back in. So it did not look intentional to Laura, but it was absolutely intentional. Like she placed it like face up so you could read what book it was and see the picture.
Yeah.
So it was definitely going to catch Laura's attention to be like, what is that? And then she said, oh, I got it out of the library because the lady on the front looks just like Anna. And then Laura was like, well, that's because it is Anna, because that was written by Faison, who was obsessed with her. But I did like that then she moved on to going to Bobby's, and Liesel walked in and she started asking Liesel questions. And Liesel instantly was like, all right, girlfriend, like, what are you trying to get at? Because this is not everyday conversation. What is going on? And so then she said that she got the book at the library, but that she had seen it over on Spoon Island. And Liesel was like, well, I mean, he lived there. So, and she was like, yeah, but right with it was a pack of his favorite cigarettes. So isn't that a little weird? Like, they're fresh. These aren't cigarettes from 1992. They're here. And Obrecht wasn't sure what to make of it.
Yep.
And I love that she still had that bitter tone when she was like, oh, the muse, that's Anna. Trust me, he's only ever had one muse.
Daphne or whatever.
Yeah, it's Daphne, The Adventures of Daphne.
Yeah.
So I liked the Obrecht, like that's how I would say it if I was talking about somebody else's ex. So thank you. But I don't know, Joss is digging into this. Brennan didn't ask her to dig into this stuff though. So she's gonna end up in big trouble as much as I like it. So I don't know what she's gonna do with it when she figures it all out. Unless Emma talks to her. That would be interesting if Emma came
have
back.
them team up.
Yeah, and Emma be like, oh my gosh, I'm so distraught. This just happened with my grandma. And then Joss be like, wait a second. I think there's too many coincidences here.
I like it. I like that.
And that's how we can get Emma into the WSB because, again, she was smarter than everyone else this week when it came to what was going on with Anna.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Full circle.
I guess we could just do like a quick little break off of Lulu literally ran into Nathan at Bobby's, and the best time that he has had other than Christmas since he's been back was the time with her.
Yeah.
And so she tells Laura. I was kind of surprised by Laura's response because she knows what it's like to come back from the dead, be in a coma and come back. She knows all these things. And like Nathan definitely has acknowledged and understands like his marriage is over at this point. Like if Maxie wakes up tomorrow, he's not going to rush to her side and be like, Maxie, we can get back to our life. Like I don't feel like even if things were not happening with Lulu, I don't feel like he would have been doing that.
Right.
You know, obviously it took him a minute to be like, what do you mean I'm not married anymore?
Yeah.
But then Nathan goes and tells Nina.
Right.
And everyone's like, yeah, you guys should totally get together.
That was just weird.
It was.
Oh, I did like Nina this week when she was talking to Willow, though, because Willow was discussing all of the stuff with the key. She didn't say she was going to plan it, but she was like, Tracy broke in, and so that means that Michael should be arrested on this. And she's like, wait, Michael went with her? No, Michael was nowhere by it, but I still think that Michael should be to blame. And she just kept looking at her like, girlfriend, you're losing your mind. What are you talking about? This makes no sense. And I mean, she tried to do it nicely, but she said, like, Willow, you're getting ahead of yourself. None of that has to do with anything to do with the kids, and you can't be trying him for things that don't matter. And even saying that you think Michael's going to be tried for shooting Drew, like, you don't know that. You need to stick with the facts that you have at hand and stop trying to condemn Michael for stuff he didn't do. So you should write that down. That was a compliment to Nina. How many times in 2026?
Amanda complimented
Nina. It'll be 3.
Another quick little blip of Curtis asking Alexis to get a court-ordered paternity test for Portia. And she's like, yeah, I can't do that because I'm the one who exposed this whole thing. The thing is, she could. She just doesn't want to.
Right. I feel like that whole situation is so messed up. And I know we've talked about it each week whenever something with them happens. But first of all, I don't know how it feels, but I would assume if I was a man and I had been intimate with someone that I thought I was planning, like, we'll see where it goes type of future with, and then she turned around and was like, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant, and I don't know if it's you or my husband that I told you I was no longer with, baby, because I hooked up with both of you so closely together, then I'd be a little angry and a little upset, and I would want, like, answers. Isaiah is just like, whatever, Portia, it's totally fine. I totally understand how all this could happen. Whatever works for you, babe, and I'm gonna stand by you because I care
Yep.
about you so much. Well, where did all this come from? Because this all started out as a casual relationship when she
Now they're
wasn't
living
supposed
together.
to. Right. And then you have Curtis who's like, "Hey, don't forget you did this to me once already. Can I have these paternity results because I'd like to know if this is actually my kid or your boyfriend's because I don't want to keep living this way." And
Right.
Portia the whole time is just like, I don't have to do what you tell me to do. I don't want to get this test done. And I understand in the beginning, whenever it seemed like from what they were saying that it could have caused a medical issue, like if you do it too soon, it could cause a miscarriage or whatever. I too would
Right.
100% be like, no.
Yep.
But it seems like she's far enough now that the chances of it causing an issue are very slim. Like, and if she even would have said to Curtis still at this point, like, you know, my advanced maternal age and I didn't think this was going to happen again. And I really want to do everything I can, even if it's only a 1% chance that it could cause harm to the baby. I don't want to take that chance because I'm so in love. I feel like Curtis could respect that. But instead, she just comes back at him all the time of like, I don't have to do what you tell me to do. Like, she's not the one who was wrong.
Because she just wants to enjoy her pregnancy until she has to face the truth. Is basically what she said this week. She was
Right.
like, I just want to enjoy this. And it's like, before you destroy somebody's life, how
Right.
can you? How can you be enjoying your pregnancy knowing one of these men, both of these men want to be a father, and you are
Right.
going to devastate one of them? And I understand, like, everyone's talking about how Curtis is so controlling and like this, that, and the other thing. He's been here before. He's been the guy that was lied to, I mean, this is a
Right.
repetitive pattern that's been going on with Portia. So yeah, he has a little bit of, reoccurring feelings that are coming back because he only just learned about because she lied about even being married when they were first together. And then
Yes.
that's why he ended the affair.
Right.
And so then to find out, fast forward 20 years later, oh, you also had a baby that was mine that you didn't tell me about.
Yep.
And now, 3 years later, we're going to do the same thing.
Yep. Exactly.
He's got some whiplash going on.
Right, right. And I would think that if you cared about either one of those men currently or in the past, you would want to give them the answer now so that they can not get more attached and heal from this trauma that you just caused them by hooking up with both of them.
Exactly.
And you have to come at it from a parent perspective too. Like, what are we teaching Trina? Hopefully she's never going to be in this situation, but let's not have her think that this is okay either, that you're playing with these two men's emotions for as long as you possibly can for your convenience, not theirs.
Sometimes messy parents raise children who realize that they're messy parents and they do the exact opposite of what their messy parents did.
Yeah, but that's not the excuse to be a messy parent and hope that
No. But I'm just saying Trina's going to be okay. Because she recognizes that this is an issue.
I agree, but I can hear Portia 6 months from now being like, I did this to make Trina a stronger person, so you should all thank me.
She's also going to take ownership of all of Trina's successes in life.
Exactly.
When it's like, no, she did it. Yes, she did it because of you, but she did it in spite of because of you.
Right. No, she's going to play it the other way. I made all these mistakes on purpose just to show my daughter what to do correctly.
No.
But speaking of her daughter, yes, speaking of her daughter, though, she got the phone call from Kai that was like, hey, I have to go over to Drew's house to get all this stuff together. Why is poor Kai still stuck working for Drew whenever he knows that Drew's not a nice guy and that Drew's wife is the one that shot him?
That's the thing. He feels guilty about it. He feels guilty about how long they waited because by the time that they did say something, it was too late. And so he feels like he at least has to. And he was just overseeing the equipment being brought and set up. It's not like he was actually there to take a shift.
I agree, but I feel like I would be Trina, like, okay, I'm going to wait outside because this woman's crazy and you're here with this woman. So I really hope that was his last assignment and then he's done. Like, leave them to their crazy all on their own. Trying to think what else.
Oh, back to Portia real quick. It was her and Liz were having the conversation and Portia was like, it's so easy with Isaiah. And that's where my thought was, yeah, because you haven't spent 23 years lying to him.
Right.
No kidding, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah. And
Sorry.
Isaiah should realize that too. Like, if you could lie like this to someone that you already did this to once and then said you were so in love with that you married him, what are you going to do to me?
Yeah. Oh, we
Ridiculous.
missed Dante telling Nathan about Anna reaching out and that there's a chance the Faison's alive and asked if he knew anything. I couldn't read him.
No, no. I like
So I don't know.
Jason's reaction though, because he was like, "No, I killed him. Like it's dead."
Well, and that's what Laura said. No, 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 no. He is very, very, very dead. Oh, and Jason told Sunny that it was Cullum who ordered the hit.
Yes.
And Sunny has a new dog, a little rescue named Fizz.
Yeah. You're a better dog person than I am. I wasn't in love with the dog.
He's so little.
He is little, but he was doing that barky bark bark. Like, okay, be quiet. I'm having a friend over. Stop barking.
It was just a hi.
No, it was more than a hi. Sonny even said, I'm going to go put him in his crate because he can sniff the fact that you work at the PCPD, so he doesn't like you.
Just like when we give them pets and stuff.
I feel like Sonny's more of a cat person. I mean, I understand Donna wanted it, so it's Donna's dog, or Avery's. I'm assuming it was Donna because that's who they like talk about more, but he really just said his daughter. He didn't say who.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think the only other thing before, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that conversation was pointless. The fact that Justine went over to Sunny's to be like, I'm just here because they're questioning Michael and I don't want to show any bias, so I'm hanging out with you. But I wanted to remind you that if I ever see anything that you've done bad, I'm going to prosecute you to the fullest extent. And he's like, okay, thanks. You've told me that before. What else is there?
Right. But then she and everyone was doing yoga this week. I guess maybe the writers are listening to my reality checks and being like, oh my gosh, that's right. We have a yoga studio. But Jordan and Turner ran into each other and Turner was like, actually, I was going to call you because of this robbery that took place a few years ago. And there was an armored truck and they questioned Sunny and Diane stepped in and, he walked away, whatever. And Jordan's like, yeah, it was like kind of all circumstantial evidence. So we couldn't really prove that it was Sunny, but and Justine's like, yeah, I'm starting to notice a pattern. Do you guys just automatically blame everything on Sunny? Do you not really actually try to find anyone else other than Sunny?
Right.
I am going to love so much if Justine can at least solve one of the cases that they thought was Sunny that we know he didn't do.
Right.
And just have it be Sunny's a criminal. Okay. This is where we've talked about like it's an awkward thing because Sunny does bad things. However, that doesn't mean he does all the bad things.
Right. There's plenty of other bad people in Port Charles.
Yep. And so Jordan warned her about getting too close to Sunny and all that. And I'm just like, I think Turner knows that. But also, she is only going to go after him for the things that he's done, that she thinks that he actually did.
Right.
I think that, I guess Brika and Snippy with Liz at the end, and Terry was looking for her, and Dante had brought Rocco to the hospital for his community service and had to be a jerk to Britt over what do you think you're doing talking about hockey. He doesn't need you there. I brought that up an excellent point. He's a good kid who's doing stupid 15-year-old things and you're fine.
I thought that was a good point. Doesn't erase the fact that she stole the first 7 months, but
no, it doesn't. But she's also kind of apologized for that.
Right. It's been 15 years. Like, not that you need to get over it, but it doesn't need brought up every day. But Britt was stupid for saying anything about it in front of Dante. Like, she saw he was there to work. She was going to see him. So wait till Dante leaves. But
true.
At the same time, the hockey game is a public event. You don't get to control who I am there to see or whatever. So yeah, I can show up and watch it.
Well, she even said, I thought that we had a truce. Like, Laura was there. What are you doing?
Yeah. And again, it's just I'm not like inviting him to sleep over at my house for movie night or something like mother-son bonding. I said I'm going to show up to his hockey game.
Right.
I don't get it. I don't get why she needed to be so dumb, and I don't get why he needed to be so dumb because it was just kind of like she said.
He just had to be a jerk.
Yeah.
He wasn't being dumb. He was being he knew he was being a jerk.
Well, I did like that Liz kind of called him out on it and was like, look, she's not my favorite person either, but she's not going to really do anything to intentionally hurt any kids, especially your kid. And he was like, well, would you take that risk with yours? And she was like, I mean, I probably wouldn't like it, but Again, she's not going to intentionally hurt anybody's kids.
Right, right. So I guess the only thing that brings us to is we've talked a good bit about it in a little bit, but we can get started at the beginning anyway. Drew is being transferred home to Willow, and she's going to take care of Drew herself.
Mm-hmm.
And Nina and Liesel are like, that's not a good idea.
Right.
And then Lucas and Liz are concerned with Willow taking care of Drew. And Lucas is telling him, one blank for yes and two for no.
Right.
If Drew is capable of saying yes and no and understanding the question, then he is capable of determining his own care.
Yeah. Yeah. How come no one asked him?
Who's ready for disability abuse soapbox time? Seriously, though, if I don't think that I'm wrong in thinking that. I think that if you are trusting him to blink,
yes or no,
then,
right? Then his brain is in there still. It has not cognitively affected him, so he can answer yes or no. But I also feel like maybe they had asked him ahead of time if he wanted to go home, and if he didn't remember Willow shooting him up, and he doesn't know that Willow shot him, then your obvious answer would be, yes, I want to go home with my wife. She's a nurse. Of course, she'll take care of me. Who cares?
And I feel like we should have seen that, because that just made me so mad, because they're not respecting the person who has the ability to make that decision's choice.
I agree. I just assumed that they thought it was asked off screen. But yeah, they take him home, and everybody, like even Kai and Trina, who were there to witness the delivery of everything and stuff, were like, this is not a good idea. Like, why is she being the one to take care of him? But then we finally get to hear from her after she has them all settled and everyone's gone and she's shut and locked the door to their house. She goes in and explains to him that she had to do this because he was the reason that she lost her children, and she asked him to stay away from her. I love the way that she's taking no accountability. Like, he held her hostage. It wasn't, whenever he came to the hospital to talk to her, she couldn't refuse to see him. She just had to. And he did all this stuff that made her lose her kids, so she never thought she'd hold a gun again after dawn of day, but she knew she needed to, and she took the gun.
I like how that came back around, that
Yes.
it was, because that was brought up at trial, and we hadn't really been told that.
Right.
And I love that that came back.
Yes, she says that she got the gun out of Edward's study, and she waited for him, and she shot him, and then he just wouldn't die, so she had to then inject him, and finally she explains that the medicine that she gave him, he needs to continuously receive a dose of it, and so although she didn't say it, that's the reason why she needs to provide care, not a facility, because she needs to keep him under her control so that she can get what she needs from his assets and all of his business stuff and whatever to start her own comfortable life without him.
I just kind of feel bad for the staff, because Lucas and Liz both had concerns about it, and as they should. She is also not mentally stable,
right?
And I feel like that should be taken into account. That, okay, we need to, how like the doctor, if you've been under anesthesia, they will not let you drive yourself home.
Right.
You have to have somebody there to take you home. Like, there should be certain requirements. Okay, you said that you're going to be getting additional staffing at home. Show us your intake. Show us that and I know that, like, their wait lists are probably so different than the ones that I'm used to. They're a lot quicker because they're set up to be immediately responsive to people getting home from the hospital. I know that there's like emergency in-home care and stuff like that for this. Tell us what your own respite is going to be, because also you've got your own issues that you need to take care of. I know they can't really dictate that because she is not their patient at the time, but they have enough.
Are you having in-home help come in some of the hours? Like, okay, you're going to stay with him overnight, but you can't do this 24/7, especially if you're getting your kids back 40% of the time and you're responsible for Scout.
Right. So I feel like there should have been some kind of a checklist that they had to go through. After you have a baby, they make sure that you are able to do certain things before you're allowed to leave the hospital.
Right.
It's a little weird, but they do.
Yeah. Well, I want to know what the medication is also, because we've seen people steal medication from GH. It's all under lock and key, very official, like it should be. And someone somewhere, which in this case should be Liz, is doing the double checks of the counts of all the medicine. Where did she get this from? Like, is this something you can just mail order? Because that's pretty dangerous if so. without a prescription or whatever. And if she's stealing it, how long before someone realizes that she's stealing it? Why haven't they discovered this yet?
You want to bet she still has a connection to somebody from Dawn of Day?
Oh, that'd be cool. I would like that. I did not think that she did, but that would be cool.
She might.
Maybe. And I did think, so she's flipping out on him, yelling about everything. And
She was so good, though. Can we just really, we are not going to do this justice. If you did not watch,
oh, right, go back.
you have to go back and watch Friday.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, I'm sitting there like, you're not the second grade teacher we fell in love with.
Right? Yes. She did. She owned it. Even the way that she was walking, like after Chase came in and then she came back in to like pick up stuff, even just the way she was like daintily putting this stuff together and she's saying at the same time, like, I had to do this. It was just perfect. But I
Yep.
thought for sure that
I know.
Chase was going, first of all, and again, can only take it back to like how my experiences would be. But if I was trying to check a key for your door, I would not let myself in. I would just check it. If it unlocked it, then I would lock it and walk away. I would not come into your home unannounced. If I did try to say that I was coming into your home unannounced, I would walk in the door and be yelling your name. I wouldn't walk through your house and then hear this loud something fell over and then start yelling for you. Like, you're so rude. You're not allowed in people's houses like that.
Well, but also, it should have been when he opened the door, then the crash, and then he goes in to investigate because, he's a cop and he's also just a person. You don't, but especially being a cop, you don't exactly announce yourself if you don't know what you are encountering.
Right.
It's,
Right.
I mean, yes, they do. When they're knocking on the door, police, show yourself, all that stuff, but not when that's not the situation that they were having. And he just heard, for all he knew, it could have been Martin because he knew that Martin was supposed to be boxing up the stuff. So like maybe Martin fell, I so badly wanted him to walk in on her screaming at Drew. Oh,
That would have
I'm
been
so
so
mad
good.
that we were robbed of that. I am so mad because then poor Drew, and I am going to say poor Drew right now because it is
For this
given
moment,
everything
yes.
that he did.
Yes.
This is not cool. He is like blinking like crazy. Like, hi.
Right. Like, pay attention. Do you not see that I'm blinking like crazy? Something is wrong. And
But he wasn't at the hospital for the 1 and the 2.
No, and he wasn't looking at Drew other than to be like, oh, buddy, I guess I should acknowledge you because he was there 100% for Willow, which again is
Yep.
gross. You are married. Stop. Like, Chase isn't, as much as Willow is not being the good girl that we thought that she was for all these years, Chase is being a jerk. Like, I thought he was better than this, and I'm really disappointed.
He's going to lose everything. He is.
And if they even try to put them back together, I'm going to be so grossed out. No. And that'll
No.
be exactly what it is. She'll be like, "No, you're my hero again, Chase."
No.
Yep. But I don't want it.
No.
No.
That's
So
it.
yeah,
I mean,
it was good. It was so good. Like I said, for most of the week, I was like, just kind of him on along, and then today was just amazing. But I was really disappointed because I thought that would be great. I wanted him to be standing outside the door, hear her say, "I'm the one that shot you. I'm the one that drugged you, whatever," and then him leave and have to go home and wrestle with what do I do with this now?
yeah. Oh, because then kind of at the same time, Brooklyn and Michael were talking and she was reassuring him like what a great dad he is. And she's like, wait, why did you give in? And, he said, and she's like, oh, because you're going to be arrested. Okay.
Right. It was very much like, oh, okay. Wasn't sure of that one. But Wiley was so excited, and that made me happy because if you can make it work, your kids do need both parents.
Well, and Michael did the right thing by telling them, and he knows that. I'm going to stick with Michael saw her.
Okay.
I still think that he knows that she did it.
I mean, that would be awesome if they put him on the stand where he has to tell the truth and they asked him, did you see who did this? And he can't lie and him have to admit it was Willow because they can't try her again. They're still like, double jeopardy. They can't do anything about it, but he can definitively say like, it was not me. And if you want to know what I saw, yep, it was her. But we'll see. I don't know how
there really was nothing better than Willow straight up telling Drew, I shot you.
Yep. I loved the fact that she admitted it. I just hated that she took no responsibility for anything. Like, he
Right.
was 100% wrong for the way that he pursued her. And she was right. The reason he pursued her was because he wanted to take something from Michael and all of that. She was 100% on point for all of that. You hurt my child, you lied, you did this and whatever. But for her to be like, I asked you to stay away from me and you just wouldn't. Okay, you are a grown woman. You can say, no, thank you. You do have a choice.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, I'm excited for, I don't know. I know that it's a show. And give Cameron Matheson all the credit in the world for being able to sit there
Right.
and just not react. Like,
Yep.
that's great. Great. I'm so happy for the actors. Like, I really, really am.
Right.
But just, I don't know. People are okay with it because it happens. But I hope that there is at least some kind of mention of like this being abuse, that this is
Right.
actually stuff that happens, that
Right.
people are.
And maybe that's what they'll finally get her on. And it will bring some awareness, is not
Oh.
shooting him, but the abuse that follows with all of how this is going to play out.
Yeah, there we go.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah, yeah. And then she'd have to lose. Well, she's totally losing her license no matter
Yeah.
what.
Right.
And she's never going to see those kids again.
No.
Which is only going to hurt them. Like, that's the thing I don't understand is she's a smart woman.
Right.
She was raised in a cult. She escaped a cult. She knows better, I guess.
Right. No, she definitely should be able to think through things a little differently. Like, I feel like as a mom, you encounter people sometimes that you think, oh, it would be nice to just knock them off, but you don't follow through with that because that's not the way that real life is.
Who said it? Who said it? Was Stanley Tucci. It was in a TV show. He said, everybody's a murderer. They just haven't found the right person.
There you go. See?
Hold on.
Thank you for having that quote come to your head, because when I started saying that, you had your Shannon look like you're not allowed to say that, but I am. Then the quote came to you and you're like, okay, if somebody else said it, then it's not as bad.
You just have to meet the right person. Sorry. Everyone's a murderer. You just have to meet the right person.
Perfect. See?
Inside Man. That was good. On that note, you talk about reality check.
Reality check.
I didn't find my person this week.
I did not find my person either.
Here's my reality check. Not saying it won't
I
happen.
cannot
but...
wait. Well, okay, no, this is not going to happen, guys. But could you imagine us on trial?
Oh my God, we'd be listening to hours and hours of the podcast played back to us where they would be like, you said this, what did you mean? I'm like, no, we were talking about the show, we weren't serious.
We just better not really ever get any serious enemies because they could so frame us.
Right? Especially with AI, the way they could put things together that we said. Like, oh, that's not what I meant. All of our listeners can stand up for us and be like, no, they're just crazy. That's not what they meant.
Right, exactly. So how was your week?
Yeah, besides not finding my person, it was pretty boring. I mean, that's pretty boring. So I don't think I did anything exciting. Not awful. We're getting ready for recital season for competition season for Madeline. So she has her rehearsal this weekend where she has to run all her numbers in her costume and do all that stuff. So just making sure she has everything and everything still fits, and ordering new tights and all that kind of stuff that you have to do, spending more money that I wasn't planning on.
Yay.
Yeah, but besides that, nothing really exciting. My oldest daughter, Emily, got her permit again. So we'll see if she ends up with a license this time or if she procrastinates for another year or so. Not sure. She has such anxiety that I understood when she was 16, 17, because she really struggled with anxiety then. And, you're a newer driver and just maturity and all that kind of stuff. But she really has come a long way now that she's almost 23, and she's driven, when she had her permit last time, all over the place with someone in the car and done perfectly fine. So I don't understand the anxiety of just go get it. Just go have it so you can have it. Even if you don't want to drive after you get it, Just get it so
Right.
that you can, so you have that ability. So it has been a constant discussion in our family of just go do it. So she finally did do it this week. So I'm excited to see where we end up. Baby steps for getting there. But yeah, besides that, my family's pretty boring. How about you?
Kind of had the same week. Just worked a lot. Went to the gym, went to yoga. Honestly, I don't think I had anything very exciting happen this week.
You didn't have any creepy politicians approach you at the yoga studio?
No. No.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear.
Oh, darn. No, it was just kind of it's the first week that we're really getting back to things because, you come off the holidays. We had 2 weeks before a snowstorm, and then it took us a week to get out of a snowstorm that was a day and a half.
Right. And now it's snowing again, just if you want to mess
Yeah.
up tomorrow's plans.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Boring.
We
You know how it
are.
goes with me.
We're very
I either
boring.
have 20 million things going on at one week or nothing.
Yep.
I mean, I had enough nothing going on that I finished almost a 7-part series. I will finish it before I go to bed tonight in one day. Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know, but I am so excited for JD to be telling us the story of Faison.
I am too. It's going to be great.
I'm writing it. I think that he's watching some stuff, but even if I'm writing it, but it's still
So-
going to be fun for him too.
Can you and
Read
I make it a drinking game that he doesn't know about? That every time that he randomly goes into his Faison voice, that we take a shot.
Yes. I love it. Yes. Let's figure that out.
We may be really drunk by the time that we finish each part.
How many episodes are we recording at one time?
Amanda and Shannon had to have their stomach pumped this week because they were drinking too much.
Does really good impressions though. That's the thing is that
He does, and I want, like, I'm there for it. I want some of them, like, I'm just assuming that some of what will be written up will be in quotes, and he will say those things in his Faison voice. I am just wondering how many times, not prompted by what you wrote, he will also go into his Faison voice. So I feel like that's a drinking game for everyone. Have your alcohol ready if you are a drinker at all when you listen to this episode, and take
eat
a shot.
chocolate chip if you're not. Like,
Right,
how
exactly.
many chocolate chips do you eat, or M&Ms, or whatever,
Whatever your indulgence is. Go
Maybe
ahead
that's
and
what
have it
okay, hold
ready.
it. Maybe that's what we should do though, just to be safe and to not die.
I might be throwing up chocolate chips then.
Maybe we should have like a set amount of like M&Ms. And as he does it, we just each like
You should
And see if it picks-
absolutely label the episode "Choose Your Indulgence Wisely" and see what we have.
yes. But yeah.
It's going to be good. I can't wait.
Yes, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun series. So
Yes.
all right. So join us on Thursday as we let JD take the reins.
All right. On that, have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Peer 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.